Last Week was Friday is a podcast launch where four dudes talk about career stories and how they're going into it, business, tech, and entrepreneurship. Warning, this podcast contains explicit language and anything said or done here is for entertainment and informational purposes only. Please kindly do not take it personally. It's all for good fun and it's all jokes. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet? This is Last Week was Friday. Your podcast, you know us. 1, 2, 3. My name is Drounz, founder, CEO, was podcasting. You get the gist. With me today, or just three. And Prince, please introduce yourself. Say hi for the grams.
Hi for the grams. My name is Prince. Co-founder Attacking AI. Owner Prince of Pattern YouTube channel.
Check the description for the link.
Co-founder Catch Collection.
Check the link in the description as well.
I think that's the ones I can read for now.
Best book.
African men. Yeah.
Shego is here with us, but he may be silent. He's exhausted. He show up either way, tired. Anyhow, he shall show up. Yeah. But Musa is not here with us today, sadly. Musa was caught up with some, unplanned circumstances that revolve around being on a call. But I wish him more grace to his elbow. So in today's episode, right, it's going to be something like I watched something recently. It was a video between a rich set of guys and poor set of people, right? Now, They asked them some questions and they had to give their points. So what I did was to take down those questions that was asked to the both groups, and then we're going to try and answer it. Now this is going to be a short episode because we're tired and we're not complete. So now, and also it's daylight savings. So Prince's timeline is actually very messed up. At this point, it is not correct. So now there are some questions. I think they are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 questions. But they are all cascaded into different ones. So the first thing is wait. Okay. The first question, Prince, right? This is between you and I. Is oh shit. Should rich people be taxed more? Why and why not? That's the first question.
Okay. So basically talking about the tax. I don't want to say BS, but I remember when we learned it, so like this progressive tax, is it neutral tax, or basically progressive, meaning that the more you earn, the more your tax rate should be. Now, I remember back then, this was in GS2 in the same school that year. I'm not sure if you're listening, but like, what are the disadvantages of this thing? What are the disadvantages of communism, socialism, all those? And the progressive tax system, the disadvantage is that you are not really encouraged to make money. For example, a lot of niggas in UK, once they get their Nike Tech, they don't really have anything else they are pushing for. I'm saying this to cause controversy, obviously. But the tax rate, why are you taxing me over 50% of the money I made? When you help me record video, you help me buy camera, you help me do anything. You get. Imagine you bet for football match. Man, you go to lose. Nothing go to happen. No. The day back away that you bet the team to win Champions League, they will now come and carry 60% of your profit and say that it is for the country. Me if I go vex now, why am I now working hard?
So
yes.
Your conclusion is?
In conclusion, I'm just saying, so you will not crucify me. But everybody keeps saying tax the rich. My personal opinion is that it's because you are not rich yet. Will you rather the barely tax rich when you are broke, and one day you that hope to become rich, when you now become rich, you now start taxing the rich? That means you are the worst part of both sides now. As I don't already live life being broke so far, they might as well leave it as it is. Make myself go become rich, enjoy the tax benefits. That's my conclusion.
For me, so really people to be taxed less. No. The controversy here is like I am not rich yet. So I'm so it's very hard to say, oh, I have so much money and
Yeah.
tax
Yeah.
this. Do you get?
Yeah.
Like if I say like now I can be like, oh, they should be taxed equally like regular people. That's my point of view though. It's like they should be taxed equal as regular people because they are regular people at the end of the day. Even though they make more money, meaning they have more money to spend, right? They should actually be taxed equally as regular people. The problem here is now like regular people, right, will see that as unfair. It's like, guy, you're collecting X amount of money from me. You're collecting 50% or 40% of my money, right, to build roads for everybody. I'm a regular person. That 40% can go a long way in my life. But that same 40% is what you're collecting for somebody who has 1 billion. So that person with 1 billion is actually paying a lot more in 40% than somebody with small money we get. But yeah.
I don't even know a lot of. You have to first look at the countries that use each tax kind of this thing. For example, US, every state is different. So some states is progressive, some states is this, some states is that. But the main idea why governments don't like the idea of progressive tax system, or the main disadvantage, as I like to say, or challenge, is that people are not encouraged to work. If I know that I am at the lower end of my tax bracket, I would rather earn less and be the upper end. Like what I'm talking about boundaries. So let us assume this. Let's say $100,000 are taxed 20% tax, for example. This is very low. And $101,000 is taxed 25%. Between 101, you get $1,000 and $200,000 is taxed 25%. That means it's always wise to be in the upper limit. You get? It's always
wise to be there because it saves you a lot. Like,
yes,
always wise to
how
be
will
there.
I want to earn more and enter the next tax brackets that I'll be taxed more? It's even possible you earn more money being in the upper limits than being the lower limit of the next one. So what should encourage people to make more money for the economy and all that? It will not discourage them. That's why realize people are calm. So it's kind of. And then rich people, if you tax them a lot, rich people, the problem with rich people is that they are rich. People don't seem to understand that. You think we'll just tax them and they'll listen to you. My brother, they will just move. They will literally
move to a different state.
Tax Elon Musk
to a different location, to a different country.
Why do you think he's in Texas? It's one of the major reasons. California tax out too much. Bad guys in Texas. Move all his companies, all the employees. Your eye will shine. So can you really control them? UK, on top of all their tax systems, one guy was saying it in one podcast, I've forgotten, that if you notice that most of the UK millionaires have all run to Dubai and US and Bali because when they tax them, oh yeah, now where me I be influencer on my phone be my whole business. If you say I get industry for your country, I will just be visiting you times a year now.
Yeah, and you won't tax them for visiting because they make their money in a different state.
Thank you. Now the next thing is that even if you increase the tax rate for rich people, the problem is that rich people don't make money. That is the reason why no matter how much you increase the tax rate, it may not even change their lives. Because enough.
One of the comments in that video was somebody saying that like it doesn't make sense how somebody has debts or has like assets and you cannot tax assets. However, you are taxing the money that like they have. You can't tax debts assets, right? You can only tax the actualized assets. So therefore, all their wealth is calculated in the debt asset that they have, like stocks, for example.
Yes.
So you can't tax somebody saying, "Oh, I have 20% in this company, which makes me worth $2 billion dollars." You can't tax the $2 billion because it's not actualized.
Where the money even come from now?
Do you get? But the catch here is not like you can use that 2 billion unactualized assets, right, or worth of money to now purchase something. You can use it to get debts to pay for something. You can use it to pay for Twitter.
But if you think of it in the big picture, interest rate is still going back to government in the ultimate picture. So they are still being taxed, just with a different phrase. So I mean, don't hate the game, hate the player. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I don't see anything wrong in that because as funny as it may sound, you must not even be a millionaire to explore this option. For people in the US, just get your 1099 and get an LSC, be working 1099 and be writing it off. That is exactly what the rich people are doing. Then when you write it off,
what you just said,
remaining taxes, you should try to get something that has equity. Then when you get things like property, you should not sell it. You should now use that equity to borrow money, and then next you know you're not paying taxes. So in the big picture, you don't even need to be that rich to enjoy these benefits. But the idea is that people, they make it seem as if we're too broke to enjoy this. Nigga, all of us can enjoy it. You don't just know that yet because it's lack of information.
The rich would be getting richer. Like the system is built in a way that like if you have money a lot, you have potential to keep making more money. Like it's the same thing I think it's also in the Bible whereby who I've forgotten the phrase
it's Matthew. Well, let me check.
Yeah.
It was a very good one. Why am I so now? Egorp, is you that has been sending all these extra things. Oh yes, whoever does not have, okay, for whoever has will be giving more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have
has more, will be giving more.
Exactly.
But the one who has not,
what they have will be taken from them.
Like that's very cruel. Like it's very, very crazy.
It's biblical principle.
Yeah.
So you cannot really hate the fact that it is written in the Bible, except you want to go and challenge the Bible, but we're just following accordingly. So now that you know that it's not, you cannot really hate the game because it's even written in the Bible. So what should I now do in that situation?
No, not hate the player, hate the game.
If you know that gravity will kill if you jump from the upstairs, will you not get angry and start to carry gravity to court and say that, but I want to fly like a Vitromite? No, now you play accordingly and you will not jump down for what?
Yeah, that's a crazy example. He said, but I want to fly. And gravity will not let me fly.
It's called a principle of life. If you know fully well that they will tax this amount, what is even annoying with all these things is that people make you look as if people they suffer. Poor people are actually enjoying. It's middle class that suffers, which is even more annoying.
Let me explain. I don't understand. Explain.
Over here, during tax season, if you don't have enough money, you're a citizen, you're going to get things like food stamps, my guy. I mean, that is basically free food. So you don't, even if you don't work, like imagine there are food stamps in Nigeria. I don't even want it to be food stamps in Nigeria because the poverty rate that I think you see, you have not seen anything yet. Those people that are comfortable shopping the same thing every day, do you think that they will do better if they get government assistance, ba? Like cash? Oh yeah, now. Because you come to US and you realize that, oh my God, like these people have everything. Like you have a blue passport, you are born with a citizenship, you can do so much. And a nigga just wants to smoke weed and chop McDonald's. Because they know that no matter what happens, I will not die of hunger. That chicken that we used to save up for our birthday, this nigga chop it any day. So
hunger is not the fear.
Hunger is not even your enemy. Yes, it is now comfort that is the enemy. It's the reason why Nigerians do so well in diaspora, because of Nigeria. If you don't work, you will die of hunger. You cannot die of hunger here as a citizen. That's how it is in the Western world. They cannot die of hunger. So the hunger is not there. Whereas the middle class are taxed the most. People in lower classes, they don't even tax them. Like the barely ever. When I was working in as a dishwasher and all that, how much taxes are they pay? The small one they pay, I still got tax return for the thing. So I basically barely paid anything because I was earning way below. I was basically in poverty line. Well, in poverty line. You get? The money is not enough, but if I was a citizen, I would have gotten some extra benefits like housing assistance, feeding assistance. International, I suffer, sha. But all those extra assistance, it makes them calm. But the middle class, you're not getting any of these Medicare, any of these benefits, all these food stamps. You're not getting them. But they collect, apart from the state and federal tax, they will still collect Medicare tax for you to go, and that means you are basically giving them money to take care of people who know they work. Then I understand healthcare is good. Even though healthcare is still shite here, they will not still take social security tax from me. That is basically, Egorp, I know you're only earning 200k in Nigeria, and that is very, very, you get, that is middle class and you're suffering. But how far more collect 10k come on your life every month?
That's feed. Like basically what's the social distance stuff.
That's what social security tax is. You are basically, from your paycheck, they're already removing money to dash to people where they rob you. And then a nigga that has not done anything, living their best life with all the government assistance, will still be hustling you for money and be asking for, hey, boy, you got $1? Who got $1 for you? Are you mad? So you realize that it's the middle class that are working so hard. They're the ones that are suffering. They're not getting the benefits. They're having the stupid tax rate. The poor are enjoying. It's only poor and very rich people that are enjoying. So that gives it's not like, what are we really doing here? The people that are holding that their money matters, now them they suffer. Let me give you another example. So, sorry, I'm taking all the time on this podcast, but it's something that's been paining me, this topic. We might waste the whole time on this topic.
No,
so
we're not.
When you go here, now, the way you tip in Nigeria, we don't really necessarily call it tip, but until take change, or whatever you get.
Yeah, keep the change, take extra.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Go your upper place or your bole. The bole makes sense, die. You go until hold down, later I say, until you get, we like that. Auntie mommy, don't forget about that one. But over here, the taxing culture, I said the tip culture is that it is their right. So you have a big restaurant, you don't pay them enough money. All the bartenders and waiters, you pay them cents. You're charging high money. I'm paying $200 for this dinner to impress this girl that will still dump me. And the staff, on top of that money, the staffs are earning below poverty line. People that are working hard, and then you will not tell them that the money that they're meant to earn is in the tips. So, tip is meant to be like, oh, I enjoyed the food. You made me laugh. You recommended a nice drink. I like this dude. Tip him for his goodness. Them on their way, their mind is wired is that tipping is a must. That is their salary. Do you know how messed up that thing is? So, who is really affected here? Is it the billionaire that's affected? The person that is waiting, that is chopping all the money? Or the middle class? That as a nurse, nobody they tip you, they save their life, you don't get any tip. Me as a teacher, all the teaching I help your ungrateful children, I don't get any tip. Something for the future. Somebody else came and poured juice and lime on top cup and is forcing me to tip him money. Why can't they pay you the salary? It's not as if the juice is cheap. It's not subsidized. So the mindset, then the people that are meant to collect it, instead of them to go and fight their employers and argue for a better pay, they'll be angry at you for not tipping them, as if you should tip me as a teacher. Or tip a banker. That is your job, my guy. Talk to your guy. It's not as if the restaurant is cheap. So I'm paying high prices. The owner of the store, they pocket everything and tell people that, hey, your salary is in these people's hands. Does that make sense?
That does like in Nigeria, like that will not even make sense. Nobody will even look at you twice.
It doesn't make sense.
People will stop coming to your restaurant if people start behaving that they're like, no, go there. Those workers, they go on beg you finish. They will people will actually stop going to your restaurant.
Even if they beg you, let me explain. If they beg you, it's better. Over here, God help you, go to New Yorker's IG page. You check New Yorker or the New Yorker. Go there, go talk, say, they tip. Guy, they feel even ban your account. The way people go report you. People, I'm telling you, it vexes them. If you see the way they talk, that no, I've worked in this before, you have to tip. It is your right, it is your right. They see it as their right for your money. Now, people like me, as a proper able boy, $2 tip started in my head. That's how it was a long time ago. But New York, do not say tip. The tip is not in $2 or $1 that you put the amount to. They will not tell you tip 15%, 20%. I should pay 20% of the food I bought as tip.
What?
I said the cheap. You seeing is believing. I go take picture next time I go place. You don't even need to go expensive restaurant. Go Starbucks. Where they no go even they look you for eye. Go what they say it. You get? It's not as if they even greet you good morning well. They go still put tip. One snub me, I thought good morning. She not talk good morning. I say, okay, I know anything to do. They go put tip for there. Me, I thought say, oh, can I pay now? They say, oh, you just have to answer that here. I say, remove the thing now. I don't even get hurt. I say, remove. Then my boss said, I've seen women that demand that if their guy should tip minimum 20%. If not, the date is flux. Like you can be perfect, Christian, everything, perfect date, expensive place, everything, green flag. You tip less than 20% of the whole thing spent that night. They see you as a waste man. You see how society has brainwashed you. The middle class is getting poorer. Poor people are enjoying because what the hell they do that they are receiving tip? You don't even greet me well, and the rich people are keeping their. The middle class are the ones being affected, yes. So most people should know, who are you really fighting for? Who is being affected?
Prince is hot.
Who's at fault?
let's move to another question.
Yeah, they vex me.
Pele.
What they vex me? They are very mad. Say I ended the
So-
conversation. Vex.
Let's move to another question. Another question that they asked here was gender roles. Now, this is a very tricky one. So they said here, should men be the breadwinner of a family? Yes or no? Why and why not? Let me go first on this one.
Let's go.
So, now should men be the breadwinner of the family? Yes or yes not? So now, based on our religion and like our family background, where we are brought up, I would say yes. Simply because I believe strongly that like as a guy, it's my responsibility to lead this family, and if the money is coming from me as the head of the family, that is the ideal way it should be, based on my religion, how I grew up, and what I believe in. Should that be the norm for everybody out there? I would not agree. It should be the norm for everybody out there. I think to all man is his own way of life, right? As long as it pleases the Lord, it's his own way of life. Should it be a standard where we have like a certain person that leads the family that does all that? I would say I do not agree on that. Still, but it's still how they use that dirty word I don't know the meaning of, buttress. Like I hear that in a lot. I don't know when it started becoming a thing where everybody's saying buttress. But to just go back on my points as to why it should, like I believe it's just my own belief. I don't care about other people. Is honestly, if your relationship is fine that way, mine will not be fine that way. Like my ego will be affected constantly. Like if I am not making money at all, and my wife is bringing all the money, and if that happens for an extended period of time, my ego would be affected like regularly. Like I would feel less of a man. So I just believe that like I should contribute just as much as my wife, if not more than like more than if possible. Safe. Yeah, that's my own take.
I mean, I feel that take makes sense due to the way each person was raised. But I want to bring up another factor. Let's say the wife in question is the Duchess of Buckingham, if there's someone like that. So let us be honest here. I'm not saying she's breadwinner, but bread for life.
Inside that bread, another bread day, bro.
Exactly. With that your point that you must equally or more. I'm not saying you can't do, but current circumstance and what I see, brother, you can't right now. So now let us assume, does that mean that because of your ego, you be like, I love her, she loves me, this cannot work because I cannot contribute to equally or more? You see the issue here?
Yeah, I see the issue. I can clearly see the issue.
It is all about passions. A rich girl, like I'm not saying new money, I'm saying generational money that marries you and loves you, doesn't give a flying F if you are the provider or not. It is your ego that is the enemy. Like everyone has watched everyone has watched Crazy Rich Asians now. That's what happened with that lady. Like she did not hate because of the man's ego. Whenever she's buying diamonds and all these things for herself, because she liked all this exclusive stuff, she used to hide it in the house so the husband will not see it and feel less of a man. So she kept on doing that. And she
I don't think that's actually good though.
Did not see him less of it's because of he had bad ego. Have you watched the movie? His confidence was bad. Crazy Rich Asians. Everyone was talking about it like 2019 or something.
Yeah, it was like the one very interesting rom-com at that point.
It's a very beautiful movie. She tried everything, and this guy's ego was so bad that he hated like, how can you be with a girl that is a billionaire? Her family is a billionaire. Her family are billionaires. All that. Guy, you know you're not going to make $1 billion with whatever you're doing your business. You know what are the odds of being a billionaire in the world? Why? You can try and try to provide bread, but you understand that she's from a totally different class. These people, they enter private jets for lunch. So you cannot expect to, if you ever enter private jet, it must be my private jet. You have to understand that these are different circumstances.
Well, I think that comes is like, how will I say, is like, you have chosen that this person. You have to take care of your ego. At this point, you have to actually control your ego.
Your
or
ego
find
is
a way to enjoy yourself.
because of the question is a very simple question when you imagine everybody being the same class as you are. But when you now imagine that Queen Elizabeth's great granddaughter is now the one that is married to you, you see the whole analogy of pride falls out the window, because no matter how proud you are, you cannot now say, hey, because of I want to be the breadwinner, we are only going to fly business class. Business class may be great for a lot of people, but she's a private jet person. And nobody you get the private
She's
jet. So
do
are you
you
not
get like
suffering?
she's if you're not like tell her not to live that lifestyle, it basically doesn't make sense telling her to come and suffer because of your
But
ego is being
you have to
affected.
suffer. Exactly. So in that case scenario, if I say breadwinner, I would say it all depends on each case scenario. Me personally, I would like the idea of being breadwinner, but I've already told my babe, that sounds so nice to say, that see, until you become multi-millionaire tomorrow, me I fit turn pride husband. Guy, I no get asabi more. See, I know. See, I go dey do
Not like the
the
black guy in that video, I swear.
guy. I go
The
face mask for morning. They carry the kids go school. I have no shame, guy. I would like to spend more time with my children and play sports with them and chill at home. If
sure.
he's making the money, auntie make all the money. Have you seen all these TikToks that like that? What's the phrase? That I see after I put my wife through medical school and all that, and it's time for her to start making the money. You go see how they feed the press. You go see the guy, they dress him up, they push him inside car, they wave him goodbye, they make him money. Yeah, I go turn pride husband.
I've seen that video.
Eh?
Hmm.
There's no shame, guys. It's a teamwork. If my wife is making that amount of money, I'm not going to say that, oh, she's making so much money, let me not work hard. I mean, I'll still work hard and everything. But there's a level of money that they make that I'm talking a different class. That if you are not
But
working
there's a way
with passion, you are wasting your time.
but there's a way to look at it, guys.
Yeah.
I think we should be also very careful about using the word ego because people see it differently. So, for example, now, if you read the book Ego is the Enemy, you understand how ego actually plays in like different ways and not just, pride. Like, ego ego is not equal to pride. Ego itself can show up in different ways. Like, I don't know, my shoulder is not straight. Ego can show up in different ways. It's not just pride. So if I say ego, I don't mean like, pride is like, for example, is, I need to work hard. Like, my wife makes X amount of money. Obviously, I can't become a billionaire in X amount of ways, but I need to do more than just sit down at home and let
Yes.
her pay all the bills. You
Yes.
get, like, now that is ego actually taking action there, but it's not necessarily, So ego in that sense is you have to just control how much effort you put into that when you put that effort. But
Yeah. Now, only that just made me realize that my answer, people will take it differently. Now, let me explain. I just remember something that happened. There was a time I was a gardener. I've done everything. So we used to do, me and my friend, go and do gardening.
you can see that black guy, before you go, that black guy, you know what he said? I sent the video to the group. He was like, I've done everything. I've been this, I've been that. I've even been the backstage guy in the porn scene. And it's an Asian guy. And I just look at him like, what? You played like you've been backstage in a porn scene. Like, how does that?
I never reached that level. But anyway, so back then, I will not mention any name, but we used to, let's call this person, let me just find a random one. Let's call her S. Let me just use a random one. So Mrs. S, we used to go and she owned real estate. She used to acquire real estate and then convert them to Airbnb. But now go sharpen everything. The only thing we no do for our paint. We go do the gardening work, we go dig hole, we go put tree, we go just dey work like madmen while still maintaining school. Moving on. Her husband, Mrs. S husband, seemed to be a very interesting dude. Like, when they say deadbeat in Hollywood, it's not just actor. I would not necessarily call him a deadbeat, but brother, I don't really understand. How your wife this is Yipu's new property. You have two black African boys working on the property, everything. You have maybe one cleaner inside the house, let's say Hispanic, I don't know. And then she's just there on her laptop trying to auction new properties, doing accounting, doing her CPA courses. You get all those kind of things now. She's being busy, just in the balcony and trying to ginger everything. People have a baby son. The pikin when I just put her for one room, we just surround them in a play area. The boy is a very no-nonsense child. I like the child so much because the boy no get stress. He doesn't even need attention. He's just alone with toys and one TV on. And this guy can cheat there 12 hours, nothing. I've never seen a child no need attention. like that. So it's good for working parents. Anyway, and then you now see the husband. Like, she's literally providing and everything. And this guy, she's working, she's doing everything. This guy will go to cinema in the afternoon and just come back. And every small thing, argument. And for the argument, like, they even shame. This guy would even shout at her everything. Like, because of his time to make money and every that thing, so he made me lazy. Go, they blame her. Working hard, though. Sometimes she should even wear gloves. Sit down there, they ask, okay, so you go and get the mulch. So how many things do we need to get? Now, let's say she want to buy more manure or any other thing on soil. Now, go still go, get truck. Go drive also, go help and pick up the thing, offload. That guy no go there. If he go carry the son, go watch the movie for cinema. I'm saying Monday afternoon, my brother.
Are they white?
I've never seen this in my life. Yes. I've never seen. Do you get the image I'm trying to paint here? So
yes.
I don't want people to mistake me that I'm trying to say I will go and be lazy about when my wife is. No, that was wrong in so many ways, because personally I don't know why you will be chilling and your wife is working. That is different. If let's say your wife is a movie star now and the work you are doing, you don't really like your work. You know she's the breadwinner, but you still need to work. You can become her manager. You can go and understand nothing about studio, this thing. You can do management, PA. There's so many things you can do. You can go and start getting her.
You can play in the same space. Like, you can actually play in the same space where you support her even more.
You can be in the space. She's the main head. But you can become her songwriter. You can go and learn how to make beats if she's an artist. There's so many things. You can understand management. You can be like deals. It's like your wife is a professional sports player. I don't turn her agent without to. I don't know wear suit. She's making all the money. She may even be paying me for my salary based on salary agent, but I'm adding value because I'm supporting her. You get? You cannot just be chilling and be watching ESPN on Saturday and be like, yeah, that's my wife. Woo, goal.
I see your point.
Yeah, that is wrong. How about? Okay. You should put effort. You should work, make more. Then there are also two types of things. Like, if you want, there are different types of people, obviously. So women want, I will not use the word domesticated, but they want like a family man, a houseman that cooks and cleans and all that. And you'll find them and you have the best of marriages because the guy sabi cook, the guy sabi clean. He likes that lifestyle, will support her. And then so women are extremely ambitious. You get? No nonsense woman, iron lady, but she wants to come home and relax. If you can find the perfect match, God bless your marriage. It's not as if the guy he's not trying. That is the rules, and you already understand your rules, and there's respect between you guys inside the house. He's still the man of the house. You get my point? That is very respectable and beautiful. But what are the odds? God help you. I don't know how you find that kind of person, or for both of each other. But if you can, that is the best case scenario for this scenario. If not, listen to our podcast too before you get married. Thank you.
Hi, my name is David, or Egorp, or Drounz, whichever one you know me by. See, for the last 1 year plus, What's Podcasting has brought you this podcast and 5-6 different other podcasts that people around have loved based on the niche and the audience we've served. Now, it has been a year of us doing this over and over, and we figured out the problem with consistently writing copies, generating social media content for all these different podcasts. Even when we had one, was a problem. So to that, we created something we believe and we know can help solve that problem. It is our own duty and responsibility at What's Podcasting to give you the best stories and also make podcasting feel like a breeze. So, to that effect, I'm introducing you to Plug, spelled P-L-L-U-G. Plug. Plug is a simple tool that serves as your podcast co-creator that helps podcasters to create more and stress less by providing you access to upload just one audio content or many as you wish you want to use. And from that audio content, you can generate transcripts, LinkedIn posts, Twitter posts, quotes from that episode, and also go as far as generating you a summary that you can use as a description for the episode. All in one platform. You don't have to jump hurdles of transcribing in a different platform and then take it into GPT or somewhere else. In one place, all your problems are solved. Go to plug.com to get started now. PLLUG.com. Next question here is now, becoming rich is easier now than it has ever been before.
I should
You go.
start.
I went,
Yes,
yeah,
now.
I went for the first year.
Yes.
Well, why would you say that?
Because there's not enough data to support anything else. I mean, like it depends on context. I would say yes, based on say we don't have enough data. It is always easier to get rich the time of the conversation than any time previously. That is the first start because the world is a global village and the world keeps getting more interconnected. Now,
I do not agree with that.
You don't agree? Change.
I'll give my counter arguments, but finish.
Change brings about wealth. So you cannot say that ever be before. Becoming rich was very easy after Great Repression. It was very easy after stock markets crash. Better than it was right now. So it depends on the context you get. Are we talking about than every other year in existence? Because it's very easy to become rich when everything crash. It's like let's say it's very easy to become a Bitcoin millionaire after Bitcoin crash. That when it was going up. Do you get my point? But the reason why I feel like let us divide into generations. Let's talk about in the last 15 years. Why I would say it is very easy and removing context of all the Black Swan events, opportunities. Let's remove that context. By Black Swan events, I mean things like stock market crash.
2008, all of that.
Yeah, exactly. If we remove all those things, we'll look at, and that's true, coronavirus is still a Black Swan event, and we are basically using coronavirus as the excuse for the reason why it is easier to get rich now. Basically, what I'm yapping about is that year 2020 made us realize that any weary that has camera of any camera quality can sit down and do silly dances that do not require skill
and make so much money. Yeah, like somebody can make money from just pointing hands and not saying nothing. As much as like
yes, because in stock markets boom, in crypto boom, NFT, all these things, there's still risk involved. You can still lose. You still need capital. You can still pick nonsense. It's still possible that you pump and dump your papa. But something like 2020 TikTok time. See, what is the worst that can happen from you dancing trending music on TikTok?
you will not get followers. That's all.
You have time. You're at home. It doesn't get easier than pandemic. Sometimes I think about my life and I've always been thinking of doing content, but shyness and the fact that I just started like December last year makes me feel like I was 4 years late. Imagine I started this thing in pandemic and everyone was at home, everyone was on their phones. So anything you do will blow. Because right now, if you want to post content, you have to see it. They go on break time from 12 to 1, some 11:30 to 12:30. You get, you have to put that into factor. But remember that New York break time is even from California break time. It's 3 hours different. Even from Texas break time, even from Nigerian break time. So you will never be a time that you post that you get that everybody is on break, except pandemic, because everybody was at home throughout.
Are you saying now? Are you still going back to say that like actually it's easier to let's say now, let's use now in the last 5 years is now, and then the past is now years before 5 years ago.
If any year that have COVID-19 inside has won. let's talk
like AI. I believe it was easier to get rich then than it is now. So like now there are loopholes and we are privileged to be able to like see those loopholes and like maybe to actualize them and then like even build the opportunity to know where they are, right? At least to a degree we can see some of the loopholes. However, I believe that back then it was much, much easier. They didn't just anticipate it is going to be harder now. So some people didn't take actions then. For example,
what do you mean?
Government was. So then I'm like, now looking at Nigeria, right? Back in the days, it was easier for you to pay your school fees. It was easier to. Let's go back to 1990s Nigeria.
1990s, okay.
Nigeria. It was easier for them to pay school fees. It was easier for them to buy land. It was easier for them to own properties. It was easier for them to, actually just buy a car. Like my grandfather had a bike. The only reason why he didn't buy a car was because he was like, his bike can go to places faster and in nook and crannies than a car would. So he didn't buy a car. You get like he just wanted a bike.
Okay.
He had lands. And he was a military man. Like he was a military man. He was like actually a military man. He was not high up in the ranks, but he could afford to buy properties and move different.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What you're saying is a very good point, because even over here, the baby boomers were buying house with their salary, they're able to buy houses. Now, the next question is rich a function of a particular value or perception compared to every other person? What makes one rich?
In this context, is like his actual money value. We're not saying perception,
If
because
everyone has money value, if everyone can easily, okay, I get what you're saying, but as of back then, I always think of it this way, that those baby boomers that used to do firm handshake and get married to with McDonald's salary, what did they, right now, we say that, wow, they got that property, they got this car, this thing, but as of that period, were they rich or they were just starting? Because of everything compared to now seems like it was rich, but who knows? To them, that period, they were rich people, and they were not rich. You get my point?
Well,
Yes.
that's actually a very good, like that makes sense, because to them, right, they had people that were rich.
They were not rich that year, yes. They are rich to us now because the world is harder for middle class, but to themselves, they were not rich. I remember seeing a casual picture from 90s, just a parking lot, and the cars that were there are the cars that we consider to be meet and greet car, this thing. That was just an average parking lot. All these old BMWs, all of them very clean Jaguars, everything looking clean. And someone just commented that this is better than the meet and greet in my country. The car meet and and to them back then, I mean, it was good and all that, but it's also rich. Let's go back to the Babylonian times and everything. That an average person has a purse of gold pieces, and he still consider himself poor.
Gold. Actual gold.
Rich is also a societal number that is based on what makes you rich. For example, now, somebody will look at our lives. Do you know that, as funny as it sounds, me and you right now being on this call, we are the top 1% of the world. Do you feel like you're the top 1%, Egorp?
I do not feel like if someone looks at my salary, they look at my salary and they be like, oh, you are making X amount of money, you are probably, one of the richest people within your age bracket. I'm not.
Yes.
I don't feel
You see, rich is a level of context. Somebody that was born and raised in a disaster country, I don't want to mention any country, very sadly, in your mind, you are as rich as can be, which is why we need to actually be grateful to God and count our blessings. When they say count your blessing, don't count your blessing as, you are seeing it based on the standard of where you are. You should count your blessing from the standard of human. Nigga, as a human being, you have lived, if not the best life of everybody that has lived before you. It's why I got very calm. I am so calm. I was having a conversation the other day. I said, as much as I'm pushing and praying and everything, if it's God's will that I will get deported, I mean, it's depressing. I'll feel very bad and all that. But if you think about it, nigga, you're 24 with a master's degree, service, you get undergrad degree in a very competitive field. You have how many years work experience? Like 6 years work experience.
The thing is that Prince
started businesses field. Like, in the bigger picture, my life has not ended. Life is just starting. There's so much possibilities. You get. When I was working in Walmart, I sat down. We're sitting down by the fireplace. There was pool. I was in a very expensive neighborhood. Everybody there is very rich. And I was talking to this guy. This guy is extreme. Like, this guy is a millionaire in dollars. And he was just telling me that you don't know at this age where you are right now, that you have no idea how big it is to him, because he was homeless that time around this period in his life. He said that you have no idea. And then while we're sitting down, we're seeing other interns in Walmart, they're complaining. No. We saw interns, some other interns, some came from Facebook, some came from this other place, and then you're just checking out because, man, no lie you, that my housing are the best out of the whole Silicon Valley. Nobody else, they live for the kind of place where they live during internship. Like, some of our rent was 5,300. Me, my rent was 4,200 every month. Company covered. That is just, it was extremely very, very good. So people will be coming and then they'll be complaining that, oh, what's your comp? And then they'll be comparing like children. You get my point?
I remember when you mentioned it, lights would trip off for like 30 seconds, 1 minute, and they'll start complaining that why is light tripping off, stuff like that.
It's not about light tripping off. I'm talking about you and me. We are earning the money that we are earning. People that are not working in this level of companies, even people that have worked years in AI, data science, this thing, they are not earning up to us because we're in big tech. our lifestyle is high. You get. Even on top of that, we're still comparing and saying, oh, Microsoft, they pay 10K more. But than these other people, those Microsoft guys, they are lucky. Like, think of my point. They're still comparing themselves. Oh, this thing, but our total compensation also. Like, me, I'm way older than these people. These people, they're undergrad. Undergrad children that are just 20 years old or something. They are not even, it's not as if they come from a very wealthy family. But they are not still grateful enough for where they are. And like, oh my God, this place that is very good. Oh. I'm still trying to work more. They are still comparing themselves. So you now see them being very ungrateful that, I understand that we're earning a lot of money, more than almost everybody in the field, even people that are professionals. But I mean, people in SITA, they are earning 200K a year. I know I'm earning, for example, 70K as an intern. I'm earning 100K as an intern. But people in SITA, they are earning 200K in a year. So I feel very bad, man. Those guys, they have is good. When you are already earning better than a lot of people that have worked 10 years in the industry, and you're just a small boy, you're just barely 20 years old, and you're comparing yourself and angry about it, it seems stupid to me. And that's how it seems for a lot of things. This is a talk about gratefulness, gratitude. Because what is rich? That is the question. What makes one rich? You have complete family, you're already very rich. But back to the normal context.
If we start like defining rich by those, I sent you something on IG and I was like, retirement plan. Guy, that is actually a future where I see like an actual retirement plan, to be honest. But if you check IG, you see it after this text. If you want to get context, check the description. I'll post the video so they'll add it in the description.
Okay, that is nice. Rich is a function of your own mindset. So it's like, I will not say it's Bob Marley. It's Bob Marley that said it, that was like that some people are so poor that all they have is money. Or something like that. You get? So now if we leave that context of rich being what you're grateful for and everything else, and we go to the money aspect, we have to first look at what did they invest. They invested time, they invested money, and then there was still a lot of chance on their hand. COVID-19, everybody at home, was the best case scenario for chance. That is the best time to make money. I'll keep on saying, everybody that listens to this had their phone then. You could have been a millionaire by now, but you're listening to us on Spotify on your way to work.
It was actually a good time because a lot of people started a lot of stuff with COVID was when I started my tech career official. Like I had so much time to sit down and write code and do stuff. Do you get?
Not the funny part. We were coding. I was working in banking back then in Abuja. I was doing online boot camps. I was still a statistics student online. I was working hard. Some jiggers be they dance. Savage love. When somebody break your heart. And he's a millionaire. He never invented that. You see, there's no time. I don't want to hear Shigbe. I don't hear that they work for 1 hour and built house in 1960. They did not dance savage love.
But Prince, there are still people who during that same period they dance their ass out, but for some reason they did not just fall into the bracket of me.
Show me one person that was consistently posting in 2020 when no blue.
I will not call names, but I know some people that actually made a lot of videos.
Consistently posting in pandemic and did not blow.
They did not blow.
Let me say that village people get Wi-Fi now. No. Because
they did not blow.
I thought
it's sad, but it happened.
He said it's sad, it happened. Wait, that just means that in the best time, according to us, or according to me, in human history to blow, you know see blow, and you did the right.
The second best time is now, but that's a discussion for another.
Yeah.
Please, let's move to the next question.
Are you sure we should wait for everybody else to join because these questions are good?
Let's move to the next question. Fuck them. Okay, the next question is no, 2 more, but there is no such thing as an ethical billionaire. Yes or no? Why not? I'll go first.
Go first, please.
Yes, there is no such thing as an ethical billionaire. Why? It's because by the time you start looking at what ethics is in regards to what it requires to get rich, you find out that you were definitely going to fall in the brackets to do one or two things that may not be typically ethical. Now, there are many ways to define ethics, right? I had this argument with a friend one time. I was like, what we call morals right now is just is defined by the time we're in and the place we're at. Long time ago, in some certain tribe, it used to be very, very, very okay to marry 2, 3, 4 wives. It was very morally done. People didn't have an issue with it. Now, that is a very immoral thing to do. A lot of people have issues with it. Right? So, moral is just in place in time where we are, and like a place in location at the point. So, there's no such thing as ethical behavior. Yes. Elon Musk have had to definitely, don't arrest me or sue me though. What is to say, allegedly, right? Many people that have become ethically billionaires, who have become billionaires, have had to do one or two things that are unethical. Either listen to somebody else's conversation that they're not supposed to, probably pick into, set a trap to be able to get information from somebody that's, the way they got that information, actually they are not supposed to get that information, but they had to play that game to keep them in points. You get to, remove somebody's name from the list because the person is an up to them. So they've had to do one or two tricky things to keep themselves high or probably be selfish. So I do not believe they are ethical billionaires. That's my reason. What's your reason, Prince? You're muted, by the way.
Sorry, I'm trying not to derail this whole conversation because I do not agree with you. But the analogy I wanted to use to explain will take it to another level that is not meant to be. Let's talk about ethics now. Let's start with something that we both familiarly know. Job. Was Job an ethical billionaire?
It should be the Bible. Well, according to the Bible, he was actually.
That concludes it.
He was a righteous, rich motherfucker.
There you have it.
So much so that God even put his trust in him. That see,
yes,
nothing wants to do to this guy. It's like, do you understand how crazy that God was like? See, nothing you want to do to this guy. That this guy will actually turn his back.
Yes, yes. So you cannot tell me that Job is the only person in the history of human beings. The fact that Job existed means that they're ethical billionaires. Now, that being said, let's take it to a different level. Job existing does not mean that some people felt cheated by Job businesses. It does not mean that the press and the Town Crier Association or back then were not still targeting him and his family for bad press. Let us be honest. It does not mean that. Remember, the press is pressing your emotions. They do not really know what they are talking about. Why? Because of this. Who is a motive? Do you really think that news is shooting on one of the pioneers? Do you think they don't have something to gain, or they are not owned by a rival?
Exactly. They always don't have full context.
Yes. You will never get the full context. I'm sure somebody else owned the rival farm. And back then, they used to have arguments and a lot of press released about Job stealing from them. Yeah. Remember, so you say, this Igbo man, this guy, they chop all our business. This guy, they do this. I'm sure he does something fishy. Everybody always think he did something fishy. The same way somebody else look at the Bible and Jacob. I mean, he did not do anything fishy. He invented cross-pollination. What they call them? Cross-breeding between animals. He did not paint animals to be polka dot and carry them with him. He literally invented crossbreeding. Now, somebody else look at that and like, well, that Job guy and a bad guy. Do you know that he went to my brother-in-law and he took his 2 daughters and took all of his cattle? I'm sure he even painted them too because nobody knew crossbreeding existed. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I always look at it from the third angle, the angle of like, what were the people that were living there? What were they thinking? This guy must have looked like a madman. I'm sure they're even laughing at him and talking about, this guy is scamming, but one day...
But then it ties back to the point of ethics is actually in time.
When all the trials hit Job, I'm sure plenty people was hitting headlines as of back then. That man, that wicked man, I told you now. He bought it for me at this price and sold it at this price. But that was pure business. I told you now. See, now I told you. Did I not tell you, Kama? See, now everything is happening to him. When somewhere that I'm very sure he was using ritual. He was doing ritual with his family.
This thing that you just said.
Everything happened and God restored him to who he was. Remember, he had sevenfold. He was the richest man before. He now had sevenfold. That means Elon Musk that has 100 billion right now has 700 billion in net worth. You can imagine how mad that thing is. Now, and he has more than 100 million, but just imagine sevenfold, and it happened to him within the same lifestyle. What do you think the press would have said then? This guy, as rich as he was, we even thought he was suffering. He began to go and use his family and his children for ritual. People will say that.
That's why he lost everything. It looked like he was suffering. He was actually using people for ritual. Like,
exactly. That's why he's
the thing now becomes like,
yes. So as rich as
we lack context, so we are setting the boundaries for what ethic means in such case.
Exactly. It's like is that saying that in the war, no one is right. Whoever is who is left that determines who was right and who was wrong. So it's the same thing with press. Like press, they can never win the battle self. The fact that they have the press, they can literally paint you as a bad guy and there's nothing you can do about it. Which is the reason I don't believe news in the first place, but another talk for another episode. But given this context, anybody, me, if I lived in the period of Job time, me say for they join them, they drink Monday morning, they discuss how this guy don't use his family, do ritual. Now God, they judge him. That's what God they proud of. Because Job was passing through those for his wife to even say, curse God and die. Imagine what other people say. You get? His wife will not say no scam. Imagine waiting competitor for the spread the news. So knowing fully well like that, you cannot tell me now that they are not ethical billionaires. I believe that a lot of them are very ethical. Their operations may not be fully ethical simply because they are always bad eggs. The same reason why Jesus, we want to make heaven. You get? The plans for us are for good and not of evil. But that doesn't stop one father somewhere from molesting some children. Does that make sense? So because of one person stole church money, does not mean that Christianity as a whole is bad. Or Christianity as a whole is a scam. It's just that there were some bad eggs under the... Because of somebody in Catholic...
I have other points.
Doesn't mean that the whole Catholic organization is bad. So it's possible that Job had plenty staffs and one person scammed or one person raped somebody as an extreme example. And then you now start saying, this guy's not ethical. You should tell his staff to go and scam people. Given that context, you can never really know. That's my opinion.
You get this makes sense. I have like these arguments can go on and on because ethics is I feel like anything that has to do with ethics and moral, like there are many ways you can spin these arguments. Like you can look at it from there in Nigeria is allowed there, there in West Africa is allowed there. You get there are so many things that are allowed in Nigeria that you cannot just do it as a Nigerian. If somebody makes his money from selling gay condoms, that's a very weird example.
That's
gay condom being
that's extremely specific guy. What the hell?
Like that's oh my God.
What a bad.
First of all, you can't be gay in Nigeria. Like it doesn't make sense. It's not allowed, right? Like the society does not.
And yet, if you listen to this podcast, don't listen to your loudspeaker. It disappoints you.
Oh my God. Okay, let's say in Nigeria, right? You sell gay condoms. First of all, people look at you as a very immoral person. Like you don't see what else to sell. This is what you're selling. Go to America, you sell gay condoms. God Almighty, and you become a billionaire from selling gay condoms. You get like nobody's going to see you as an ethical billionaire. Like you are actually a billionaire because you sold something, people bought it, and it came back for more. But in Nigeria, it's like if you even have a market, it's very, very suspicious as to how the fuck do you even know the people that are buying your stuff?
Now, Lucky, if it's true now.
I know. Okay. Oh my God. It's like people like, man, there are so many shops in Lagos where you see and they sell sex toys and you're like, what? You guys have this thing in real life? I thought it was only a film that used to see it.
I said, don't try to say that thing for not to.
Do you get, bro? Like, oh my God. Anyway, that's just by the way. The last question.
You to tell us you went to sex store shops in Lagos.
No, please don't drag me.
That's awful last year.
No. This has nothing to do with my experience.
The apostle was here of this.
This has nothing to do with my experience in Lagos. God bless you. The last question here is are you happy?
Like, what in the therapy is this?
That's
Like,
that's good.
That's a very
So
deep question. Guy.
yes, it's a very,
Not like,
very deep question.
like these people should pay for our premium content. Subscribe, give us cash. This. Come on, I go
So
start to.
So whenever you are being asked this question, right, it forces you to reevaluate what you define as happiness. It forces you to actually then see for yourself and like ask yourself what is unhappy and what is happy. I have this theory in my head is that like you can never be fully like happy or sad. You cannot be sad, pium, and then happy, pium. There's always a degree to happiness and a degree to sadness at every single point. Like it's constant. It's like on a spectrum, right? You're either happy to like 80% or 90% or sad to like 80% or 90%, right? If people hit rock bottom, they probably are dead already. They probably committed suicide. That's how you know they've reached rock bottom from sadness. The reason why I say this is if you've noticed, right, if any situation you are in, you always be, guy, I'm so happy I'm in this country, right? I'm a king in my house. I can argue for my rights, but I wish the light was better. That's the sad part. Like, that is the thing that does not.
Right.
You see?
Now this skin color I go use argue for my rights.
Do you get?
Black man, I beg.
Now, that is the thing that doesn't make you happy 100%. But at least you know you're like 70% there. Okay, I'm in this country. You get like you're always 70%, or you can say, guy, I am not happy because most of the things I want to do are not working out. But thank God I'm alive. Maybe you're like in that point, you're like a 60%, you're like a 70%. So it's a spectrum. You can never be truly happy 100%. Maybe that happens when we go to heaven and like there's joy everywhere, right? Finally. But as long as we're on earth, that's how I see it. Even when you make a decision about anything, like I used to tell my friend, like I used to tell people in What's Podcast, like if you make a decision, there's a level to regret and achievements to it. You always regret an action. Sometimes you don't just notice the degree of regret you have for that action because you've achieved most of what you want, but you always regret every single action. So at the end of the day, you want to take actions that lead to the least regrettable outcome. So you don't want to regret it 100%. You want to regret it 2% and let the remaining 98% be achievements. Good. But that's my answer. Am I happy? Yes. Based on this analysis, yes, I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm alive. I'm happy that like my business is not dead yet. I pray it does not die.
I will never be dead.
I pray so, bro. I pray so. Yeah. I'm happy that I have friends that I can talk to. Making friends at this age, guys, is actually difficult.
Very, very hard.
It's hard. There's a girl I want to be friends with, but like it's so hard to be friends with her because every time I'm like, I have to follow up, I have to say hi, I have to initiate a go out, let's go and take ice cream, I have to keep up the gist, and I have to hope that she understands that like I am not available all the time. Do you get? So it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my answer. What's your answer?
That's a very good one. I would say I'm happy because I don't have any other choice. Like if I'm not happy, I am basically just stabbing myself in the leg. So might as well be happy. So mine, I call it delusional happy. I am so happy. It reaches is like the thin line between happiness and delusion. If it means being delusional to be happy, my brother, I give you the permission to do it. It has helped me so much. Now, being delusional doesn't mean that it means exactly what it means, but it's like find a very good example. I always find the humor in it. So is the idea of comedians do better when the economy is shite, which is why Nigerian comedians are very funny.
That is so accurate.
Yes, sir. Imagine.
That is so accurate.
Imagine cracking joke in Singapore where economy they balanced, or in Dubai, ha ha ha, Habibi, ha ha ha. But imagine North Korea. Yes. They go crack joke. They will say if you laugh too much, you will die this evening. I'm sure comedy in North Korea. board, but we don't know. So it's the same thing. So just like a comedian, I look for the humor in all of it. See if we can crack 9/11 joke, you can crack joke about anything. I just look for the humor and then I look for the audience. If nobody's the audience, thank God I have my and I laugh about it. So anything that happens, I laugh. Like I go to school, 6 hours commute, all that. And naturally I should be very pissed and depressed. But I will just tell myself that if person don't read my biography, I go vex. My biography being #1 bestseller. You get, I find that thin line that I'm suffering right now. When I write down for a book, man, it will make sense 30 years from now. That is the delusional line. So that's
it's like, what is it? What I want to do is like when you want to make an action, you just be like, what I want to do now be a good story plot. When they are narrating it,
yeah.
Like, so he did something nobody.
Yeah. It's the worst case
that makes the story
I've
interesting.
been for 2 years. But like, let me take to the next level. What is the worst case scenario? I go to prison for 2 years, but Nelson Mandela also did. So it might be my path to the presidency. I don't know. That's every delusion. I'm not saying to do that. But
President Donald Trump was also accused as being a criminal in court too. Was also sent to prison. Was he? Or he was not. He was supposed to.
Yes, now look at the line. The person that did FTX scam, apart from him enjoying life and all that, now the good part, he's Diddy's roommate. I mean,
I'm not going to say anything.
Kelly's in the same prison, so I mean, he can also sing music, and now you have free concerts from R. Kelly.
Well, he might piss on Diddy's face. He enjoys that more.
Yeah, it's a muscle. The more delusional you are, the more you train it. I'm just giving people that there's always a bigger, higher level of delusion. And that's why I remain happy. Of course, you pray to God to grant you peace, which is a very major thing. Like, every time I feel very, very, when I came to New York, I was extremely depressed. My guy, I started listening to Enya music and read every day. Every day I'll sit down, touch grass, pray, sit down and read Enya. Listen to Enya and read, then go and continue applying to jobs and reading and studying and all that. And I'll tell you that did not help. What helped me was praying for peace of mind. So a lot of times people are like, well, guy, your deadline is this. Guy. That's it doesn't move me. Like, deadline come, deadline go. I'm happy. Nothing can, guy, I'm just a young man. I'm still under 25. Life just starts. Plenty people, they never see graduate at this age. Why would I be sad? You get? So is that peace of mind is not like the delusion dimension is a muscle. The more delusional you are, the simpler it gets. The peace of mind is not a muscle. You don't practice peace of mind. You pray for it. It's given by God. Because it's only if you use logic and illusion, you will still be depressed. So peace of mind comes from God. That is what I'll say from today. I've tried everything. I've tried watching stand-up comedy and still depressed when I'm sleeping. Now God give me peace of mind. So it's divine. Then the delusion is a muscle. Now you have peace of mind. You can start cracking joke about it and moving on with it. That is my formula for this thing. So yes, I'm very happy. Thank you. I think that's the pod.
That's interesting. That's the point. You guys even get to hear how our week went, but this is enough from us. We spent 1 hour here.
Months, guy.
Yeah.
So
this next week should be good, to be honest. I'm looking forward to making like more content for Plug in terms of like putting out more LinkedIn posts, making more videos, and like just back. I want to start making more. I want to go back to making videos. You and Musa are actually doing like they peer pressuring me. Your YouTube videos, and then I'm like, Musa is also doing this on LinkedIn. I should actually just get on the same train and see what happens.
Begets momentum, like said in our creed. I would say that I already have a YouTube video that is almost done editing, but after I had a very strong conversation with Egorp here the other day, or with Drounz here the other day, and he gave me some things that helped me with storytelling. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to use it all the time, but like the videos that I posted, my last video, if I had this advice sooner, the video would have been 10 times better in my opinion. But for the normal teaching videos, I do not see the use of telling storytelling when I have so much to teach in a short amount of time. I will use the storytelling when I'm going in depth into each concept. Let's say I'm making a specific video for regression, and I can start doing the storytelling and making it good. But for the general classes, so what I did this week was that I got advice from a teacher that I respect heavily. And he told me that I should try to make like a course, because then apart from like portfolio moments, it's very easy to draw people to it. So I created a playlist on YouTube, and basically all my videos, they're actually a course. I've been making them like a course, like this is the next thing I want to teach. This is the next thing I want to teach. So before I put the name of the video in the topic or the title, I put 1 column. Like my first video was called AI 101, so I don't need to do that. But the second video, I named it Lesson 2, then the topic. Lesson 3, then the topic. That way, the main idea is to start from scratch now. So that is the playlist for you. Please check it out if you are really interested in understanding and be more often. So that was the main thing. This new week, as you know, I record a new video. Then the one that is already loading to be posted any afternoon that is completed. And yeah, we keep pushing.
Please check out his channel, link in the description, Prince of Patterns. Check out Plug. I know the ad will be somewhere in between, but please guys, thank you for listening. Yeah. Tell Musa and Shego they actually missed a good episode, sadly.